when something goes wrong, have any of you started the plan and then got off track and then just left the track completely? Like, here's the track and you're going this way, right? I'd love to be able to help you do a motivation check for yourself. So we are now finishing, we're in the third week of January. And as I've taught in other lives, motivation, the initial spurt of motivation that people get usually lasts about 2 weeks. So one of the ways that I do it, I'm going to give you some insight in how I diagnose people's motivation, because one of the things that people know me for is that I'm able to actually get people to do what it takes to get healthy, right? I once was talking to a doctor who teaches plant-based. He's a surgeon. He teaches his patients to be plant-based. He's not a teacher that's, on the big stage or anything, but he tells his patients to be plant-based. And he told me that he will tell his patients to switch to a plant-based diet to heal better from surgery and have healthier joints. He's an orthopedic surgeon. And he said, if they don't do it, he fires them as a patient for being non-compliant. And it made me laugh. I said, you understand it's not that easy, right? People don't just change their diet because you say, oh, this way is better. And they go, oh, thanks. There's so much more involved, right? So my specialty is helping people understand why they're not choosing better things for themselves, whether in terms of their self-care, their diet. Why are you choosing to continue to do something that hurts you when you know it hurts you? I often do that for people in relationships, right? Codependency and trauma and all of abuse, all of that, it's not as easy as saying, oh, that's bad for me, I'll just stop. For many people, it takes a lot more. And so when I'm talking to a person and, they come on to a meeting with me, so I do live meetings over Zoom or FaceTime, whatever people like, and it's a 75-minute meeting so I can get to know you and figure out what's going on in your head as well as what's going on in your body, right? And so I will, while I'm listening to a person, be evaluating their motivation, because I know I can give them the perfect plan for recovery, which I do. I email a full plan. It's usually like 8 pages long, sometimes longer. Here's exactly what to do, how to eat to get yourself healthy, and then how to maintain it, do step down everything. I make it just everything's in the notes so you could take them and be like, this is my plan, and go do it, right? But I know that I can't do that unless I know someone's going to follow it. I could be like that other guy and be like, here, eat this. And if you don't come back. I don't do that. I listen to hear what the motivation is and what's motivating them to take action and what's motivating them not to. Because both of those things matter. Most people, when they think about motivation, they're thinking about motivation is about wanting to do something. But that is not always the case. There's motivation to do things and there's motivation not to do things. That's why whenever someone says, I'm not a motivated person, I'm lazy. I'm like, you are motivated. You're motivated to lay on your couch, right? They're motivated to do nothing, right? So we're always motivated is the key. And so I try to evaluate people's motivation, help them see themselves clearly, right? Last week I was talking about how people tend to make things into personality traits, like, oh, I'm a people pleaser, right? I'm a perfectionist, when really, and I do this because it's how they bat away the responsibility to change their action, right? Oh, that's just who I am. But the other part of it is really letting you see your motivation for and against what you should be doing so you can take action. And by the way, if you know better and you're not taking action, often what that means is you have motivation to do it and motivation not to do it. And so that's keeping you frozen. That's called ambivalence, okay? So here's a quick test. I'll give you an example, by the way. So I'm talking to someone yesterday, and she said, oh my gosh, Dr. G, I've read all your books. I've read your husband's book. I got all the books. I've done all classes. And I want you to know that a few months back, I went on the full Goodbye Lupus Protocol to the best of my ability. And no, she didn't. She did hyper-nourishing plant-based. She didn't even do the full Goodbye Lupus Protocol. She went plant-based, so she got rid of the meat and dairy and everything, and she added hyper-nourishment. And she did it right. She did add hyper-nourishment correctly. And she goes, it was amazing. In 4 weeks, I felt so much better. Most of my symptoms were dramatically better, and even my thyroid function test on my lab test got better. It was amazing. And I said, okay, great. Then what happened? And she said, well, I kind of got sick of smoothies. I didn't feel like drinking smoothies anymore. So I stopped the smoothies. I said, okay, so you stopped the smoothies. But you were getting better, right? So you kept going, but you just switched to salads, right? And she goes, no, I didn't do that. I was like, okay. So you didn't switch to salads. You found a new recipe for smoothies and then you kept going, right? She said, oh, no, I didn't do that. I said, oh, okay. You thought, all right, while I'm figuring out the right dressing to make me want to eat salad, I'll just stay plant-based, right? She says, no, I didn't do that either. I said, okay. And I could tell by her face before she started telling me this what the answer was. But I wanted her to see, before she even told me I was sick of smoothies and so I gave up, I wanted her to see what a decision tree should look like. So I asked those things to try to make her realize like, oh, no, I didn't do that. Ooh, no, I didn't do that. Ooh, no, I didn't do that. I said, okay, tell me what you did. She said, I went back to eating meat and dairy again. I said, okay, and what happened? She goes, I lost all the results and I feel really sick. I said, so when you felt sick again, you went back on the plan, right? No, I didn't. I said, okay. I said, now I asked you all those questions in that way, and I asked them kind of playfully because I want you to see what's going on with your motivation. There's a part of you that's motivated to get better, and it plunked down the money for this appointment. And I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to make sure you get what you need. What you need is not to know how to hyper-nourish. You already did it before, and it worked, right? What you need is to figure out why you didn't keep going. So let's work on that. So all of you listening right now, check in on yourself. When something goes wrong, have any of you started the plan and then got off track and then just left the track completely? Like, here's the track and you're going this way, right? Has that happened? If that's the case, there's some motivation you have not to do it. Let's check in on that, right? So the other thing that you can check into is like some people just have all or nothing thinking. If I can't do raw, I won't even do plant-based. But if you are getting better, something's working for you, and then you stop doing it and then totally go back to something bad, there's something else going on. And so that was the focus of the mastermind session with her, was in realizing that it wasn't the smoothies, right? Because if it was just that she didn't like smoothies, she would have found a salad. She would have found some other way, right? Broccoli dipped in guacamole, whatever it takes. She would have found another way if she was motivated to do it. But if she was motivated not to do it, then one thing going wrong would make a ton of sense as a reason to give up, right? Like, wow, I feel amazing, but I don't like that smoothie anymore. Screw feeling amazing, let me get sick again. That doesn't make sense when you say it out loud, which is why I kind of make people say it out loud. And I give them these options. Oh, you solved it by doing this? You solved it by doing that? Because I'm showing them in live time what it looks like to be motivated, right? The way, and she said, how did you do it to me? I said, when I am motivated for a goal, you can't stop me. You can't. I'm like, I acted up, or I'm like the Terminator in that movie where you see him just running nonstop. You know, he's getting shot at, whatever. And he just, like, when I have my eye on something I want to do, I will do it no matter what, because it obviously means enough for me. I will make it there, right? Which means I will go over, around, I will tunnel underneath it, but I'll always find a way. That's what motivation looks like. And it's not like I had it easy. I didn't have it easy. You know, my biggest dream when I was growing up was to be a doctor. And I had to figure out a way to go through high school, college, and medical school with active lupus, kidney issues, blood clots, mini strokes, arthritis, brain fog, walking pneumonia, and all the other issues that I had because my health was so bad, right? But I was so determined that I just kept finding a way. I want you to lock into your recovery in that same way. And if you're having trouble with it, it's important to check in with why. So what's your motivation? To do what I feel like doing in the moment, or to live and be healthy, right? And I told her this means depression. If your need to be high in the moment on a flavor you feel like eating is more important than avoiding dialysis, you're depressed. Let's work on the depression. Right? So that's what I do. I pinpoint motivation. And that's why people end up doing rapid recovery, do so well. My husband and I are both experts in helping people be motivated and focused on their goals and to get rid of the stuff that gets in their way, right? So I hope that helps you. Today, I want you to do that. I want you to sit down and evaluate your motivation as if it was Dr. G evaluating your motivation and say, what's the evidence that I'm motivated and I'm going forward? Am I giving up, or do I work through problems? Do I solve the problem and keep going, or do I just get off the track and walk away and just let myself stay sick? Evaluate your motivation, figure out what motivates you, and then use that as that carrot that you dangle to make you rush towards your goals, right? rather than giving up on them. We only get one chance at this life, right? We're here now. We get one vehicle to drive. How many miles you want to get? I want to get as many miles as I can, and I want to go everywhere I want to go. I want that for you too. I just can't do it for you.